There is a little bit of drama between Jamea Stephanie Sterling and their editor. And they decided to wash their laundry in public, which made it for a very entertaining and dramatic read. Now, I tried understanding the situation with an open mind, not being very judgmental, trying to see both sides of the issue. And what's interesting is that it seems more like a relationship that was very abusive and toxic rather than an actual business arrangement. Now, when I first started reading, I didn't see why the editor is complaining because they got $1,500 a month. This was in 2017. And being an editor, that's actually well paid because take into account they can get more than one contract. So you get $1,500 a month from Jamea Stephanie Sterling, and you may also work with someone like Angry Joe who gives you another $1,500 a month. So then you get a lot of money, right? I guess the contract initially was that the editor should be available whenever Jamea Stephanie Sterling required them to be. So that was just part of the deal. You get paid this amount per month, but like when I need you, you're there. Now, the drama begins when they were added extra workload. And as I see, it's the editor that wanted that extra workload. Because in the beginning, they were hired as the art director. But then they also wanted to edit the video games. They also wanted to edit a podcast. So they demanded more and more work. And the story initially seems that the editor is to blame. Like, if you're going to offer your services in order to do more, you should ask for cash up front. You shouldn't just start doing that and then negotiate a higher salary. But suffice to say is that they did get a little bit of an extra promotion. They managed to get $200 extra and then $100 more, which got them to $1,800 a month. But this is where the story actually begins to get interesting. They started adding more things to his workload. In the beginning, he was supposed to drive them all around the state and other states for wrestling shows, many of which I would also film and record for them. I would drive them to the doctor's appointment, getting their citizenship completed, and more. So, as you can see, more and more stuff was added that had nothing to do with video editing. But from my personal take, I would blame the editor for this because it seems that they had a friendly relationship with the boss, and what the boss was asking may have seemed like favors rather than part of the job. So this should be a warning for most people listening to this. If you're a freelancer, if you're doing a business relationship with friends, then you should reconsider. Specifically because of this. I have seen it so many times that businesses have ruined friendship. And this is why it's incredibly important that you never do business with family members. Because with friends, you can just choose never to talk with them again. With family members, you're kind of forced to. So, in this situation, when the boss asks you to do him something, well, the question is he asking you as the friend or as the boss? And you need to specify that. If you want to help him out as the friend, don't expect money for it. If you, however, think that what they're asking for should be paid, you should just have a conversation and say, all right, listen, I'm struggling financially. I cannot afford to drive you around the state. If you pay me for it, I will definitely do that. It may not sound nice, but you chose to do business with a friend, so that's what's going to happen. But as we can see, the editor then decided to move in the same state with James Stephanie Sterling. And at this point, he is asked to do more and more stuff, including plumbing, helping around the house, and his wage doesn't go up. So obviously, he is a little bit upset, tries to talk with James Stephanie Sterling several times about this, and every time he asks for a raise, he is told that no, because they're struggling financially. Now, I did hear from sources, I do not know how accurate they are, but that James Stephanie Sterling makes more than $20,000 a month. So a lot of people are basically saying that, well, they did have money to pay this person, which at this point is more than their editor, but they chose not to. We're going to go into that a little bit later. But the editor, obviously, was very upset with the situation, so he decided to talk about it to some friends of his. Now, the friends of his, over time, stopped being friends, and used those chat logs in order to show it to James Stephanie Sterling, which was very upset that this editor was complaining to other people, and this is when they terminated the relationship. So James Stephanie Sterling goes on Patreon and writes a very long post trashing this guy, making him seem like the worst employee ever, in an effort, I guess, to destroy their reputation and make it sure that they will never, or at least they will have difficulty finding a job in the industry again. So now the editor is writing this instead. Okay, so why are people upset? People are upset because James Stephanie Sterling presents themselves as an anti-capitalist and also as a person for the people, advocates for free speech. But as it turns out, just like in the case with Hassan Piker, just like in the case with many other progressive, left-leaning content creators, the golden rule is never get yourself between them and their money. Because you have a difficulty in finding more greedy people than they are on this planet. I do have to say that I am blaming the employee in question. It should never come to this. A business relationship shouldn't be this toxic where you end up doing plumbing for your boss and driving them around. Like, it should never get to that point. And if it does, surely you are to have a little bit of blame for that. As for James Stephanie Sterling, the reaction to this is incredibly unprofessional. So you do not just spill the beans on an employee, try to trash talking them in public because they were asking for a raise and because they spoke with some friends about how you treated them. This is why corporations do not do this. Like, Pick-a-me graduating, perfect example. The company doesn't go into details, they don't say what happened, you just don't know, you can suspect, but it's something that's under NDA and it's not going to be revealed to the public. Because it guarantees that this level of drama doesn't get ousted to the public. Don't get me wrong, I love this level of drama. Especially if it involves a big content creator, then that's a little bit of a juicy steak for me. But I'm pretty sure Stephanie Sterling does not appreciate it. I'm pretty sure that the employee in question doesn't appreciate it because now he's going to have to work extra hard in order to find another job. So all of this could have been avoided had they treated this with a little bit more professionalism. But it is what it is. And again, the reason most people are bewildered is that yet another left-leaning content creator that's all about protecting the consumer and talking about how evil corporations are for milking people dry ends up, well, in this very interesting scenario. Let me know what you guys think, though, and as usual, I will find you in the comment section. Take care.